Hey there, I'm Frank Mitchell. On this channel, it's all about helping you understand your car and keeping it running the way it should. Whether it's routine maintenance or solving those tricky problems, I've got you covered. If you find this useful, give the video a like, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to watch till the end. You might learn something that saves you time and money. All right, let's get started.
With the recent launch of the Ferrari F80, the Italian brand continues its legacy of creating super sports cars that represent the pinnacle of innovation, exclusivity, and performance. This new model follows in the wake of a tradition that began more than 3 decades ago with the launch of a car that forever changed. The concept of the supercar, the Ferrari F40. The F40, launched in 1987, not only marked the brand's 40th anniversary, but was also the last car to have the direct supervision of Enzo Ferrari before his death. With it, Ferrari ushered in a new era of extremely exclusive vehicles designed to push performance to the limit and captivate the most die-hard motoring fanatics. This tradition has been kept alive with models such as the Ferrari F50, the Ferrari Enzo, and the LaFerrari, each representing the pinnacle of technology and performance of its time. Today, with the Ferrari F80, the brand is once again challenging the limits. But the Ferrari F40 was the car that started this series of iconic and limited edition models, becoming a true myth in the history of Ferrari. Below, we tell you 5 curiosities about this legendary model that consolidated Ferrari's reputation as a manufacturer of the most desired supercars in the world. 1. The last Ferrari overseen by Enzo Ferrari. The Ferrari F40 was the last model of the brand that Enzo Ferrari saw born before his death in 1988. At the age of 90, Ferrari's founder had one last goal in mind: to create the fastest, most powerful, and radical car the world had ever seen. Thus the F40 was born, a car that embodied the purest Ferrari philosophy: extreme lightness, uncompromising performance, and a visceral driving experience. Enzo wanted this car to be a tribute to his legacy, and the F40 more than delivered. The car was designed to be as light as possible, dispensing with comfort features such as air conditioning, upholstered interior panels, and sound systems. Everything about the F40 had a single goal: speed and performance. 2. A speed record for its time. In its time, the Ferrari F40 was the fastest car in the world. With a top speed of 324 km per hour, it surpassed all its competitors and became the fastest road car available. It was equipped with a 2.9-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, which delivered 478 horsepower and allowed it to accelerate from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.1 seconds. This level of power, combined with its low weight, made the F40 a real rocket on wheels. This record remained in force until the arrival of the Bugatti EB110 and the Jaguar XJ220. Most interestingly, Ferrari chose not to include any electronic aids such as traction control or ABS, making the F40 a purely mechanical car, where the driver was in total control. It was a car for purists, which demanded great skill to be pushed to the limit. 3. Carbon fiber and Kevlar, pioneer in lightweight materials. The Ferrari F40 was one of the first mass-production cars to use carbon fiber and Kevlar in its construction, materials that until then were only seen in Formula One or in very limited prototypes. Thanks to these advanced materials, Ferrari managed to keep the weight of the F40 at only 1,100 kilograms, which improved its acceleration, handling, and top speed. The use of these lightweight and resistant materials was one of the keys to the F40's success and led the way for future models, such as the Ferrari F50, the Enzo, and the LaFerrari, which also made extensive use of carbon fiber to improve performance and reduce weight. 4. 2 fuel tanks. And speaking of Kevlar, one of the most interesting elements of the Ferrari F40 is that it had 2 fuel tanks, one on each side of the car and made of this material. These tanks, like many other components of the F40, were intended to reduce weight and improve safety, as Kevlar is extremely strong. However, these tanks required special maintenance and had to be replaced from time to time, as Kevlar has a limited lifespan. Over time, some owners opted to replace the original Kevlar tanks with aluminum ones, which did not require the same maintenance. However, this modification made the car lose part of its racing essence, as the use of Kevlar was one of the most radical and exclusive aspects of the F40. 5. Special maintenance. Kevlar fuel tanks had to be replaced. The Kevlar fuel tanks on the Ferrari F40 were not only advanced for their time, but also presented a maintenance challenge. These tanks had a limited lifespan and had to be replaced approximately every 10 years, as Kevlar loses its effectiveness over time. This aspect was true to the nature of a race-inspired car, where lightweight, high-performance components have a specific durability. Although there was the option of replacing the tanks with aluminum ones, this more practical and durable solution altered the purity of the original design. The more purist F40 enthusiasts prefer to keep the Kevlar to preserve the original spirit of the car, even if this means assuming the cost of periodically replacing the tanks. 6. The luxury of this Ferrari was to have no luxury at all. The Ferrari F40 was designed without concessions to luxury. Inside there were no comfort elements usual in other sports cars, such as air conditioning, floor mats, sound system or upholstered panels. Everything was exposed, and many interior parts only showed the bare carbon fiber. The approach was purely functional, eliminate all unnecessary weight to maximize performance. Even the windows of the early versions were made of plexiglass and opened by hand crank, instead of using electric windows. 7. Only in Rosso Corsa color, or not. The Ferrari F40 was only available in the iconic Rosso Corsa color, the characteristic Ferrari red that has been a symbol of the brand for decades. Although many Ferraris are now offered in a variety of colors, the F40 was strictly built in red, which further reinforced its race car character. However, a few F40s have been repainted in other colors by their owners, although red remains the most sought-after color among collectors. A well-known example was when the legendary Diego Maradona wanted to buy one in black. 8. Initially banned in the United States due to strict regulations regarding emissions and vehicle safety in the United States, the Ferrari F40 was initially not homologated for sale in the country. Despite strong demand from American enthusiasts, the car did not meet safety regulations at the time. Later, it was some American homologation houses, and later, Ferrari itself, who brought out a model with different specifications to the original F40 in its bumper and turn signals in order to sell it in the United States. 9. Almost unbeatable power-to-weight ratio thanks to its light weight of 1,100 kilograms and an engine that generated 478 horsepower, the F40 had a power-to-weight ratio of approximately 2.3 kilograms per horsepower, an impressive figure even by today's standards. This power-to-weight ratio was key to the F40's ability to accelerate so quickly and reach such high speeds. On the track, this ratio made the car feel agile and explosive on the straights, allowing the driver to squeeze the most out of every inch of asphalt. 10. A bargain compared to today's market. At its launch, the Ferrari F40 was priced at $400,000 in 1987. Although it seemed an astronomical sum at the time, compared to today's supercars and even the F40's own market today, this price has turned out to be a real bargain. Today, well-preserved Ferrari F40s can easily fetch over €2 million at auction. The F40 has proven to be not only a mythical car, but also an excellent investment. If you don't want to miss anything and keep up to date with our news and videos, join our WhatsApp channel to find out all the latest news from CarWow. Join WhatsApp. In conclusion, while the F80 represents the pinnacle of modern engineering and design, the Ferrari F40 remains an iconic symbol of automotive history, having set benchmarks nearly 4 decades ago. Its unique blend of performance, innovation, and raw driving experience continues to captivate enthusiasts and collectors alike. As we celebrate the advancements of today, let us not forget the legacy of the F40, which paved the way for future supercars and defined an era of automotive excellence. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time and innovation.